Being a bartender, I'm not used to sitting down. So I'm just going to move that chair and stand on my feet if you don't mind. Sometimes, maybe y'all been here, maybe you haven't. Sometimes it can be easier to just stay in bed under your blankets and exist in your thoughts rather than get up and face the world alone. And sometimes, if you're lucky, you might find that lover, that friend, those bandmates, those teammates, somebody to share a passion with, some activity, some aspect of life. And maybe that gives your life meaning and purpose, and that gets you out of that bed. It's a simple thing of finding that other to be accountable to, and that can make us better. For me, for teenage me, that other was Noel McAllister, my greatest friend and my greatest adversary. 1981, my dad decides to uproot our family of 6 and open a car dealership in Medicine Hat, Alberta. On my 13th birthday, we leave Windsor, Ontario. Mom and Dad, my brothers Gordy and Chris, my sister Kathy, and me, and our dog Fang. We leave my cousins, we leave my aunties and uncles, my friends from school, the kids next door. We leave Detroit Radio and Tiger Stadium and promise of going to rock concerts at Cobo Hall. We leave the basketball hoop above our garage door, and we leave the tennis courts down the street from our house. Now, Medicine Hat is a dusty little city in the desert of southeastern Alberta. It's home to tumbleweeds and rattlesnakes and 40,000 people who get 2 channels of TV and 1 radio station. And yeah, it plays both kinds of music, country and Western. There are no public basketball courts, and the only tennis court in town is an hour walk from our house. Grade 8, Medicine Hat, it's all mullets and skin-tight designer jeans and concert jerseys from like Iron Maiden and Motley Crue, no offense. But there's this unholy worship of young hockey players. There was 2 boys in my grade who seemed a little different. They were into new wave and they wore skinny leather ties, but they didn't like sports and they spoke in these pompous fake British accents. Actually, looking back on it, I realized they actually were born in England. Now, by 1982, my big brother Chris and I had discovered the shortcut to the tennis courts. You go out the back gate, down the alley, across the field of the Catholic school, then you follow along the goat path that winds down along the side of the cliff. You go across Maple Avenue Bridge and you're there. It's about a 40-minute hike. And you play tennis for a couple hours. And then it's about an hour to walk back home all the way up that giant hill. If we were lucky, my dad would pick us up on his way home from work. Now, the day I met Noel McAllister, as I recall, and I recall it clearly, was the day of the World Cup finals, Spain, 82. Italy beat Germany 3-1. Paolo Rossi was the hero. It was a scorching hot day, and all the regular players down at the courts were at the bar watching the match. So the courts were free for us kids. Noel McAllister was 1 year younger than I, skinny little kid. He was the only junior player in town until me and my brother came along. So we hit that day, and he was good. Like solid forehand, classic one-hand backhand slice. You know, me and my brother were like the big city freaks, right? We're hitting 2-hand backhands, trying to beat Bjorn Borg, great top spin on everything. And Noel became that other, that friend, that someone to share my waking hours with, to figure out life together. Our relationship was based on tennis and basketball and a love of great music. We were decidedly not into hockey and pickup trucks and hair metal. We did not want to be like them. Every summer day till grade 86, we spent together. 4, maybe 6 hours a day on the tennis courts trying to beat each other. Except when we were playing doubles, then we were teammates. Now, we didn't have any coaches. We had tennis friends, a school teacher, a real estate developer, a retired dealer of cleaning products. There was a rodeo star. And we played constantly with these adults, and we got to be really good. In 1983, the Southern Alberta Summer Games, we went to Lethbridge, and we took silver in the doubles. Noel took gold in the singles. By this time, well, how do I put this? We were best friends, we were partners, and we were adversaries who competed for everything. We played basketball, tennis, our school grades we competed for. The adults at the tennis club would even laugh that we competed in conversation, right? And now Noel always won in tennis, but I always won in basketball and in school grades. Now, we would play basketball, we would go, whether it was the playground or the school teams, we went to different high schools, right? Rival high schools. And I had gone in Windsor, Ontario, it was a great basketball town, right? So I had great coaches in grade 5 and 6. I had solid footwork, I had low post moves, I could burn you left, burn you right, I had a jump shot from 16, no problem. Academically, Noel and I were both top students. But he was a year younger than me. So every year when reports cards came out, he was trying to beat my marks. I was his academic nemesis. My 96 in grade 10 math was his holy grail. Now, by these years, my brothers had moved back to Ontario. Chris was studying journalism at Carleton. Gordy was a gigging musician in Windsor, Ontario. Both were deep into music. They were my conduits to the real world. They would send me mixtapes, or Gordy one time even just put a tape in, played the radio, pushed record for an hour. And it was great. I learned so much music that way. So Noel had his little portable tape player, like a small ghetto blaster. Every second we weren't on the tennis courts, we were listening to music. And we were smart kids. We listened to smart music. We were into Bob Dylan and Bob Marley and the Beatles and U2 and Talking Heads. And the one cassette that we played most, that fueled so many philosophical conversations that got flipped over repeatedly, was The Police, Ghost in the Machine. Now, that's a great record. The hits were great. Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic, Spirits in the Material World. But it was the later album tracks that really hit us hard. Demolition Man, Too Much Information, Rehumanize Yourself. They were energetic songs. They were a visceral expression calling out the absurd stupidity that is our society. To teenage boys like us, it hit a nerve. It fueled our feelings of us and them. Our music wasn't some empty distraction, some escapist entertainment. No, it was deep and powerful. And it gave us the hope to carry on. We felt like we were a part of a community of people who understood. Like maybe we were more evolved. Our intellect and our understanding, maybe it could save the world. Maybe if we just struggle through this absurdity and refuse to give into it, and refuse to be a part of it. Anyway, this music filled us with righteous vitriol. Until the last two songs. The last two songs on that record, Secret Journey and Darkness. It was like having the rug pulled out from under you. It was like, whoa, fella, hey, easy now. Maybe there's a bigger picture. Maybe there's a deeper consideration. Maybe all your points and arguments and righteous indignation are meaningless. Maybe there's something more, something unattainable. And then that last track, Darkness. mean, it was visceral, but not that like teeth clenching silent scream. It was more of like a heavy blanket of self-doubt, like questioning everything, trusting nothing, like a paralyzing reverence for all that you don't understand. By now we're 16. I can drive. I can borrow Mom's car, pick Noel up. We drive him to the courts, right? We go to the new tennis courts by the golf club, park the car. We still got to walk 10 minutes along the cliff to get to the courts. And so, we would walk along and listen to music and talk as we went down the path, eyes peeled for rattlesnakes. We get to the tennis club. Now it's a tennis club. We're the first ones there, as usual. And let's hear it. We got to hear Darkness before we start. All right, Noel cues it up, pushes play. We sit and listen in silence. Two teenage boys in a Zen-like meditation. Song ends. We take the court in silence and start our drills. Down the line, cross court. Down the line, cross court. The only sound is the rhythmic popping of racket to ball, ball to court, racket to ball, ball to court. Boys no longer, we have become serious young men. We are seeking peace and understanding through the pursuit of physical grace. When the autumn would come and the chill of the evenings of the desert air in Medicine Hat would keep all the older players at home, Noel and I would trade tennis for basketball. I would pick them up. There was one court in town now. It was in the suburb to the south, just past the new shopping mall. It was the only place that had like regulation 10-foot hoops, right? So I'd pick Noel up. We'd go and play. We'd shoot around until the lights went out at 11. We would do drills. We would do like, okay, one shooter, the other would rebound and feed. Shoot till you make one, shoot till you miss, and then rotate. And the hoops had these chains instead of nets, So when you swished, it would make this ching. And that sound, it was mystical. It was addictive. It got to the point where you'd hear that sound and your fingertips would tingle. We'd play one-on-one, make it, take it, game at 11. And by now, Noel had like 3 inches on me, and he was a good player. But basketball was still my domain. He always wanted tennis. I always wanted basketball. One such evening, I show up at his house, pick him up, and go play. He's like, I got to get some things from upstairs. Okay, so I follow him up to his room. And he seems a bit agitated. He's a bit out of sorts. He's avoiding eye contact. I says to him, no, let's just listen to Darkness once before we go. And he's like, no, we can't. I'm like, what do you mean we can't? He's like, well, what? Well, my brother. I was like, look, we'll just keep it really quiet. He's not even going to hear it. And he's like, no. My brother and I, we had a big talk. And I got rid of all my cassettes. You what? He says, I got rid of all my cassettes. I only listen to Christian music now. I was speechless. I knew his brother was born-again Christian, but he had convinced Noel to join him, and he had gotten rid of all his tapes of the devil's music. We drove to the basketball court in silence. Noel beat me 11-3. I moved away after graduation. He stayed in Medicine Hat. And to this day, every time I hear that song, Darkness, I'm taken right back, and I just feel that self-doubt, paralyzing self-doubt. Everything I know and trust, maybe I don't really know. Maybe I can't really trust.